just want you to sit in your chair and go hip hip hooray for the Western press and the Western narrative. Regurgitating the same old every single day without exception. Please watch the first two episodes, the second series. Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Good morning, everyone. Just do it naturally, wouldn't you? Station 4, yeah, I didn't even know that was up, to be honest. Thank you, oh, Mrs. Don't. Oh, anyway, how is everyone this morning? I hope you're all right. It's going to be a hot weekend. Yes, the heat is back, apparently. And tomorrow's going to be very hot, especially down at Wembley. My little granddaughter's on her way there this morning with her mum. She's on the train as we speak. Staying the night, they're going to see a musical. And the match tomorrow, which is good. Which is good. I'll tell you the film I was watching, and I had to tear it off. The dialogue was pathetic. Now, I like the franchise of these films. Watched every one of them. But this one, I just turned it off. Right? I'll tell you what it was. Mission Impossible. You see, like a few, it's about an entity that's got into the system, all the government systems, and they could like switch everything off. You know, the intel. They could start nuclear missiles going off and all this. And Ethan Hunt is the man to save the world. But anyway, you see the team together and these other people. And the next, you see them in a room, and this is where it turns it on. Someone says something like, we've got to get it. You know, the entity. And someone else says, or something will bad happen. And another one says, nuclear missiles. And another one says, could be the end of the world. You see, like that. I just went like that. Off immediately. It was shocking. I had to turn it off. I found it childish, that scene. And I said to myself, there's going to be more scenes like it. Must be. But that's me. I did watch a couple of films. I've actually seen these. One is called Z Park. Not a Z Cars, a Z Park. With Grace Scott. Now I've seen it in its proper title, called The Resort. And I don't like zombie films, but this one is good. It's good. So I watched that. I thought, oh yeah, go. And the other one's called 12 Hours with Nicolas Cage. Now I forget the proper title because YouTube give different titles. But it's good. It's the best one of them all, that I've seen. In other words, 12 Hours. It's good. So I'd watch that if I were you. The Boss. Early morning wake up call, FC. Yes. You asked for 5 best films. Well, I have 20. Don't want 20. Come on with 100, can't we? Anyway, he carries on. 5. Guzwell Hunting. Yeah, the original. Magnificent 7. Yule and Cole. Good as it gets. So you've got 3 excellent. Children of the Lesser God and Dances with Wolves. Good choices. Good, very good choices. And the best one out of them is the Magnificent 7. Undoubtedly. Another 5, The Long Good Friday, yes. The Rainmaker, yes. Terms of Endearment, and From Russia with Love, Skyfall. Very good choices again, with the exception of Skyfall, because I don't like Daniel Craig. I haven't watched one of his James Bond films. The way it is with me. Another 5, Gandhi, Cry Freedom, Braveheart, The Bridge Too Far, just ahead of The Longest Day. Well, The Bridge Too Far and The Longest Day, yes. The others, with the likes of Ben Kingsley, getting an Oscar for Gandhi, I've never seen it. And Electric Horseman, Wag the Dog, 2 Smoking Barrels, Snatch, and Best Wishes to You, Frank. Thank you, boss. Problem. The Electric Horseman was that with Robert Redford or Clint Eastwood? I think I've seen it. Wag the Dog, never seen. 2 Smoking Barrels, yeah. My old mate was in that, Jake Abraham, who's now passed on, unfortunately. Snatch I won't watch because of Jason Statham. Can't stand him. Won't watch anything he's in. And Jason, my producer. My grandparents were called Pearl and Dean, but we used to call them Grandma and Grandpapa. Papa. What's he coming up with all these things cracked up, Jason has cracked up. He must have done. Callum. Nearly match day, Reds. Tomorrow, Callum. Tomorrow. A full match. Crystal Palace. I'll be doing a watch along tomorrow. If you're not going and you care to join in or join me. Top 5 in particular, says Simon. Platoon, excellent. Shawshank, excellent. Scarface, excellent. Rain Man, excellent. A Few Good Men, excellent. Yes. Some good films out there for, what you have picked. Very good. Is Platoon or is a Full Metal Jacket get mixed up with the two? Where you see Willem Dafoe at the end. He's getting killed. That's without spoiling it. Because that particular scene is one of the greatest of all music compositions. And that's Samuel Barber's Adagio for strings. Incredible. Unbelievable. It's like music going with films, isn't it? If you have a good music track, it enhances the film that you watch. Give you an example. Psycho. If you watch Psycho and you watch, for example, 2 scenes, that's all 2. The shower scene and the detective walking up the stairs. Fantastic. Made that film. Then you've got The Great Escape. No one mentioned The Great Escape. Cracking film. Based on a true story. So you've got the music in The Great Escape. Dun, 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 dun. Really good. Good drumming in it as well. Drumming. Jaws. One mentioned Jaws. And the music in there, only 2 notes. You've only got to do that. Do you know what film it is? And I'm surprised no one picked that out. And there was no comedies picked there. The likes of Trains, Planes and Automobiles. Very funny film. Very funny. You see that there are, people tend to, go after the, and I'll tell you what else I'm surprised at. One of the greatest films ever made. And to me, it's the great, this is just me, in my opinion, the greatest scene ever filmed. The Wild Bunch, the one picked up. And when you see the four of them just walking down the street, walking to the deck, just to save their mate, Angel. So I'm quite surprised at that. He's never picked, but great choices nevertheless. And another one, which like a Christmas one. Well, it's not like a Christmas one. Well, it is a Christmas one. It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart. I don't like Stewart. I know I'm terrible, aren't I? But I've watched his films, you know what I mean? Like that, It's a Wonderful Life. I think it's a bit cheesy, when you really get to know it. But there's a story behind it, if you know what I mean. A moral to the story. So I was quite surprised no one picked that. Simon, morning, Franco. The legendary Frankie Howard. Oh, no, Mrs. Don't. Titter ye not. Oh, please yourself. To name but a few of his quotes, famous quote. Oh, no, don't. Oh, titter ye not. Excellent stuff, Simon. Excellent. Frankie Howard's famous stumbling, bumbling delivery appears to include lots of ad-lib pauses and asides. In fact, he and his writers scripted every single bit, including the oohs and the ahs. Oh, I know. Very clever. Very clever. I was watching a shot in the dark, the Pink Panther the other day. So I sat down and said, I'll watch this. Because I like Sellers, I think, the Pink Panther. And the very opening, got on my nerves. Just have a look at it. It's on YouTube. Shot in the dark. I think it's on Prime. But anyway, I was watching it the first 5 minutes, and it was pissing me off. CW, I'd say, morning, Frank and chat. Yes. Glad you joined. And Simon says he even rehearsed in front of a mirror to perfect the physical actions, including sticking out his tongue and looking into the camera. Yeah, he always looked in. Who else always looked into the camera? Who else? Can you think? Bella. Gianfranco and chat. Hope you're all well. I've hardly had any sleep, I'm being honest. Don't know what it is with me. Must be the excitement of doing this. Yes, think of about 2.5 hours sleep. I know it's bad for it's the way it is. It's the way it is. the light shining on here from the window. Hate it. Gladiator, brilliant choice. Has some beautiful music. We are free vocal, yeah. We are free vocals by Lisa Gerrard and composed by Hans Zimmer. Gladiator. I used to lecture about the Roman Empire, including Roman Britain. And I wouldn't watch it because I knew Maximus was fiction character. And I said, I wouldn't watch that. Because if anything is historical, it's got to be historical fact. And it was a few years later I seen a fellow historian who lectured at the same different university, and he said, "Have you seen Gladiator?" I said, "No, I won't watch that." He said, "Frank, watch it." I said, "Why have you seen it?" He said, "Yeah, just watch it." I said, "No, I don't like that fictional character that they brought into it." He said, "Please watch it. Do me a favour and watch it. And let me know." So I did. I thought to myself reluctantly, I'll watch it. And I was glad that I did watch it. Because that fictional character, everything around him was 100%. I liked of Commodus, Marcus Aurelius, brilliant. The battles, yes, just a great film. Loved it. Loved it. So I would never have watched it only. I haven't seen him since either. I fell it years ago. I haven't seen him. I'll tell you what I was watching over 3 nights actually. I've gone to bed. I've done the shows, as you know. When I finish, I just sit there making myself a cup of tea or whatever. And then when I decide to go to bed, I go to bed, which is late. And I've been watching, I seen it years ago when it came out, and it was brilliant. I was been watching it again, as I said, over 3 nights. And that's The Mummy with Brendan Fraser. Great film. The special effects, absolutely brilliant. Brilliant. And really, I was really pleased with it because when I first seen it, I said, "Oh, great." And as I said, I've been watching it over 3 nights, and it was brilliant. The same. I was quite pleased. But more than 3. Oh, yeah. Simon says John Candy was a fantastic actor, so sad. Died at a young age. Uncle Buck, brilliant. that Uncle Buck. Brilliant. The Great Outdoors. Brilliant. And Planes, Trains and Automobiles. Sam had three great films then. Those are three great films. Funny. Trains, Planes and Automobiles is very poignant as well, isn't it? If you remember the plot. The Great Outdoors, Dan Aykroyd and Annette Bening. Fantastic. And Uncle Buck. Simon says, he once said, if you're not happy without it, you'll never be happy with it. Who said that, John Candy? No. Sorry for the early bombardment, Frank. You and your best five woke me up early. It's like music, just too many to choose from. And I miss Shawshank. There you go. There you go. Frank, you must be tired. Last night was a long show, but very informative. Thought it was very good because of what I really wanted to talk about. I missed a lot of it, as you did. But it was great. The comments were fantastic. And, when I thought, I don't watch myself back. I hate myself. Don't like myself. Being on the telly and whatever, and I've never ever watched myself. Even when I was a lot younger, never watched myself. The way it is, isn't it? The way it is. You see, you can say things and do things, and I've got to get over it. Oh, it's better. So, the films that we watch. I watch when I used to work, because everything was reality. Even lecture was reality, fact. So I used to come home, and for escapism, I used to watch horror films just to get away. Get away from everything. And a good science fiction one, by the way. Just horror films. Even if they were old ones, like the Vaults of Horrors. What's that type of, even the old Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. Frankenstein. So I used to watch them just to escape from reality, escape the world. Don't know about what you did to escape reality and the world. And Gladiator, that's 5+5 already, says the boss. TW, Paul Newman, Robert Redford. Yeah, Butch Cassidy, fantastic film. And The Sting, says the T. What about Goodfellas? No one mentioned that. The Godfather, greatest gangster film ever made. They reckon that it's the greatest film ever made. Mario Puzo's The Godfather. Il Nonno. Simon. The Blues Brothers. Jake and Elwood Blues. Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi had a great chemistry together. Shane Belushi had his demons, yes. Drugs. I don't believe in drugs. It's like Philip Seymour Hoffman. Great actor. 42. Dead. Heroin overdose. That's why I hate drugs. Really. Suppose you do as well. Drugs doesn't just destroy yourself, but it destroys the people around you. I was watching, funny enough, this morning, I couldn't sleep. And I was watching about Philadelphia. Just a fella going around with a camera. Philadelphia. The drug scene there, the place is filthy. Litter everywhere. People like zombies just standing there or sitting in a state of stupor. I was looking at this girl. I paused it. She's like, I said to myself, when she was 10 years of age, I said most probably she was going to school. When she was 5 years of age, she was just learning to be whatever. And look at her now. You just see what paths they take. You look at the paths. I've always said that. You open a door, you walk through the door, and it's whatever path you take in life. You can take a path that's going to be your downfall. Could be drugs, could be criminal activity. And who does the dirt? It hurts the people around you. I was reading once about a girl, lovely girl. I think she was a chemist assistant, well, a pharmacy over there, America. And she was studying as well, night school, to be a chemist. And she was doing well. She got on with this fella. They went out. And, seeing their friends, and at the weekend, letting their hair down, working all week. And he got in with, a couple of other friends who were, I'm not saying bad apples, but they were on the drug scene. And that girl took that, and a fella, shall we try it? Yeah. I seen her give her an interview, and she can't get off. Is it crack cocaine? It's finished her life. Now the fella said to her, "You're only going around, America, like she wasn't a news reporter or anything. He's just asking, he's just going around talking to people, whether they're drug abusers, whether anything, Even people, I remember him being these surfers, and he was talking to them. How did you become, a surfer? What made you become a surfer? Obviously, they lived in California, that's right. But, and it was good, this fella, but then he went onto the drug scene. And that girl, she actually said, my life could have been a lot better. I could have been a pharmacist now. Could have been married, a couple of kids, family. Look at me. Just look at me. It's the path. You've got to say no. We're 106 miles to Chicago. We've got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. It's it. Brilliant. I like that. Did you know that Aykroyd, I don't know whether he was abducted or what, but he's well into the UAPs, well into. He said that he was actually followed. He was going into a hotel, big busy main roads. He said, I looked over and he said, these two people were still there. He said, and then within a flash, he said, I looked away from them, looked back again, gone. He said it was impossible for them to just vanish within that split second of me going like that. the Men in Black. Gary says, has anyone seen Walk Hard? The Dewey Cox story. Funniest film I've seen for ages. No, Gary. No. Walk Hard. No. The T says, John Candy had a 10-minute cameo in the film JFK with Kevin Costner. Brilliant performance. He was great, Candy. And he was a gentle soul, by the way, on all accounts. Let's have a slurp in my water. Salute. Yeah. It's, as I mentioned before, if anyone never heard me, I was watching the new Mission Impossible. I like the franchise. I like the Mission Impossibles. But this one, I had to turn it off. I just, fuck that, I'm not watching that. It's all right. Excuse me. Yep. Turned it off. There are films, I was looking at one. I went, I can't. I couldn't take it. I had to turn it off. And so, not just the Mission Impossible one, but a couple of others. I'm like, oh, where did he come from? And if you noticed all the films now, and even on YouTube, or even I don't know. I don't watch the ordinary telly anymore. Russian, everything's about Russia. The Russian mafia, or the spies and KGB and Russia, and even in the Mission Impossible last night, and I was watching it. Not last night, yesterday day. Oh, fuck that. Hit the likes and subscribe for Frank, folks. Says ambidextrous. Thank you. Thank you. Ambidextrous. Gary, one of the funniest quotes ever. Every war we have ever had, and every religion has men wearing different types of hats. Make a note of that. It might be important, of course. They all have different hats. But they have the same hierarchy and the fodder through the ranks with the fodder. I'll give you the quote. And it's about a general who's sitting on a horse with his adjutant at the back of him, also sitting on a horse. And he's got his men in front of him and at the sides of him, standing. And he said, up to now, This regiment hasn't made a name for itself. But tomorrow you shall make a name for yourself. If you're slightly wounded, make your way back to base. Do not take up valuable ambulance service space. If too badly wounded, crawl away to a shell hole and die. And he said that. If I can see it, I'll just get it. If I can see it right away. See, that's my library there. There's loads of books there. No, I can't see it. I would have showed you the picture of it. I would have showed you the picture of this Jim sent me. Said those wonderful words of doom. That was on the eve of the Battle of the Somme that took place, the first battle, on the 1st of July 1916. That regiment was wiped out. Did they make a name for themselves? No. Where was the general? Oh, yeah, 30 miles back or something. On the same day, the 1st of July 1916, the whole of the Liverpool Pals Battalion were wiped out too. Coulomb Luke for me has to be up there, says the book. Here we have a failure to communicate. I got the shock of my life when I was looking at this little documentary. Paul Newman. I didn't know he was gay. What? Never has any kids. But Joanne Woods, was it Joanne Woodsworth? Yeah, she had children. Paul Newman. Gay. You believe that, would you? When we all found out that, Rock Hudson was gay. Angela, she used to call him Cock Hudson. When it first came out, hey, Cock Hudson. I thought, oh, Jesus. It was embarrassing. Very changed. In front of me mates. Would you take a Cock Hudson, eh? Simon. Frank, you're too hard on yourself. The way things are, we're all frustrated, and know things are wrong in the world today and closer to home. Look at comedy today. It's all shock and vulgarity. Yeah. Great comment. Great comment. Look at the carry-ons, full of innuendos. You couldn't do it today, could you? You couldn't do it today. You had those characters who fitted in so nicely. And you couldn't do that film. You couldn't like Carry On Camping. You could never do that today. Couldn't have a remake of that. Any of the Carry On. Know what I mean? Even the television series, you know, when you had comedies, you can't do them comedies today. I used to like gentle comedies on the BBC. And one of my favourites, yeah, everybody says about, you know, like Fawlty Towers. It's brilliant. Watched it all the time. Rigsby, watched all the time. But one of my favourites was most probably, what's that? I loved it, and it was called Ever Decreasing Circles. Ever Decreasing Circles. Wonderful stuff. Richard Bryars and Peter Egan. Bella, I'm sorry about that, Angela. I didn't know that. I didn't know you were there. About Mr. Hudson. Bella says Saving Private Ryan was a fantastic film. I'm listening. Saving Private Ryan. That. The Americans stole that because it was a British fella. And British troops who went after them. But the Americans, you know, decided to make it their hey, just like the Enigma machine. And it was the British who captured it and broke the codes. But the Americans made a film and they captured it. You see the way they try to change history. Always done it. Always have done it. I watched a French film called Gerard Depardieu, called The Green Card. Brilliant. And Hollywood hijacked it and also called it The Green Card and got Gerard to play the part of what he plays in the French version. Just to let you know, it's not all Hollywood stuff. The script writers. It's other countries at the this has started again. Wouldn't believe it, would you? Oh, this itching. Anyway, Simon, the woke nonsense means our greats like Frankie Howard, the Carry On crew, and Tommy Cooper, to name a few, would be axed if alive today. So sad all this has been lost. Yes. Yes. So true. Even Rigsby, Rise and Jump, that you couldn't do that today. Not with the wokeness. Couldn't do that today. There's no way that could be allowed to be done today. Gary says, Goodfellas, yeah. Chopper. Casino, yeah, great film. What's Chopper? I don't think I've ever seen Chopper. Three of my favourite gangster films. Don't think I've. I like the trilogy of the Godfather. You know, the Godfather trilogy. And yes, some people didn't like the second and third ones. I totally enjoyed them. The boss says to Simon, it's only lost if we allow it. I don't think there's any argument there. And the boss says, adios. Adios. Adios, amigo. Amigi. The boss again. It likes to the best YouTube channel on Liverpool and entertainment, etc. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Really. Monty Python's Life of Brian. That was a good film, says Bella. They nearly banned it. And that's going back years. Just imagine it today. Mel Gibson, when he made The Passion of the Christ, he wanted to ban that. But The Passion of the Christ was great. And you've got to look at the actors. And the actors had to learn the language Amharic, which was the language of the Christ. And the fellow who played Pontius Pilate, the Roman, he had to learn Latin. True that. So I have great admiration for those actors. Jim Caviezel, a funny name, who played Christ. It's good. But you see, when I was lecturing about the Romans, I had to give them the harsh reality of crucifixion. Now, anyone who was really bad, they put nails through them, but they didn't put nails through there. They didn't put nails through there. They put them through here. Because if they put a nail there, just go right through. I don't know whether you're aware of it. So they went through there, so if it dropped. And also, they strangled as they were as they were there, see, when you were that bad, they used to just tie you to the cross up, but they made sure that you were down and your arms were up, because your whole of your chest went in. And it was very hard to breathe. So it was like strangulation of your chest. Oh. And when I was talking about the Christ, I said, and this is long before the Passion of the Christ came up, I said, when you see films of, Jesus, and you see him carrying the cross, and you see him getting whipped, there's a few little scars, I said, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. When they lashed him, it was like with the cat o' nine tails, and it was taking the flesh and the muscle with it, showing the bone. And that's the way it was. I said, so by the time they put him up on the cross, he wouldn't have lasted a minute. He would have died. He wouldn't have been able to have spoken, because he was punished that badly. It was brutal. Brutal. Crucifixions were very brutal. And that's the way the Romans punished. And it was a deterrent, We have deterrents, don't we, today? Do something naughty, they make an example. So Bella, the life of Brian would never have been made today. And Simon says, I like this one. One dog goes one way, the other dog goes the other way. Tommy DeVito. Well, that's good. I don't know Tommy DeVito. Hi, Frank and everyone. Like and subscribe, says Christopher. Thank you, Christopher. Good morning. Simon's, yeah. I never knew until now Pesky was a singer. Yeah, he was a singer. He has released several albums, including Little Joe Sure Can Sing, 1968, and Vincent LaGuardia Gambini Sings Just For You. Gambini. I think Joe Pesci always said this, belonged to the mob. And he changed his name. I think he was one of the major families. The Gambino family. Joe Pesci. It was like, what was his name? He played Paulie in The Sopranos. Siriki. Oh, what was his name? What's his first name? Tony Siriki, is it? But anyway, he was in the mob. He's on time and everything. Tony Sirico, out of The Sopranos. Simon. Joe Pesci and Jimi Hendrix were both briefly members of the same band, Joey D and the Starlighters in the 60s. You wouldn't think that, would you? The old fella in the Goodfellas. Villain. Gary Keach from Keach and Chung was in bands in the 60s as well. What was called the Vancouvers. Didn't know that. But you had loads of people in bands, didn't you, who turned to acting. Simon. Lecchio. I will quote from the last words of Cleopatra to Mark Antony. How do you say? Now there's a thing. Cleopatra. Do you think I've pronounced it right? Because everybody says Cleopatra, don't they? I'll tell you how to pronounce it, the proper pronunciation. Because I used to have to do Cleopatra. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? I used to have to do Cleopatra. In lectures, a name always came up. In the words of Cleopatra to Mark Antony, if you liked it, tell your friends. Salute. Lecchio. Hey, what was that? Oh, go on then. Oh, pump it. Oh, dear. It's getting fucking worse. Tell you the proper way to pronounce. It's like a Bodicea. People say, oh, you had that Bodicea, tight hair, wasn't she? Yes, Bodicea was a wonderful lady. Greek queen. It's Boudica. Cleopatra is Cleopatra. Proper pronunciation. I really can't pick five films, but anything with Frank's mate, C.E. in. Lord of the Rings trilogies, The Sting, various war and comedy films, The Blues Brothers. The Blues Brothers was mentioned before. That wasn't mentioned, Lord of the Rings. Good choice. Christopher. The Sting was mentioned. There's a few war films. The likes of The Longest Day and A Bridge Too. Does anyone mention A Bridge Too Far? Does anyone mention The Longest Day? That's just me. Peter Falk was in the closet as well. Charles Manson prostituted himself out to Hollywood stars, and Peter Falk said about Manson, "I had the little freak." That's how you got a. That's how you got ahead. It was full of that. Then when people were forced to marry, but the marriage was never ever consummated. And they used to tell the girl, "Oh, you'll be all right, you'll be well compensated." But sometimes they married, two gays, male, female, got married so they wouldn't have to have sex. And they went their own way, when they went out. Used to cop off. So you can imagine, what went on in Hollywood, what goes on today. That Manson, he should have been put to death. What he done to that Sharon Tate and the people there. A lot of them, the cult, should have all been put to death because they have the death sentence over there, don't they? The death penalty. That was shocking. 8 months pregnant. Can't even think about that. Anyway, well, Tom Hanks in Forrest Gump, yes. The saying, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Great, though. It is like a box of chocolates, isn't it, really? You can look at, as I said, there's different paths for everybody. It's whether you take the right path or the wrong path. To be honest, I'm going to be honest, sorry. To be honest, I would have been terrified of going to jail, locked away. I take that. I was hated. I don't think so. I think I kept on the straight and narrow thing. But you're right there, Bella. Forrest Gump, fantastic film. And that wasn't mentioned either. And Simon, the carry-ons were one of a kind. Sid, Babs, Kenny Williams, and Charles Audrey. You wouldn't get away with what they said, even though it was almost banter. Yes. There was no woke there, was there, in any of them films? Brilliant. Brilliant, Carry on camping. Hear me balls burn. Me balls burn. You shouldn't stand near the fire then, should you? But he's off to the beach ball. What a film. What a film that was. That's something wrong with it, you know. Carry On Behind. Great film. One of my favourites, actually. Leonard Rossiter disliked being recognised by the public and refused to give autographs. He, Arthur Lowe, Sidney James, Eric Morecambe and Tommy Cooper all died while performing in the theatre. Yeah. He hated Frances de la Tour. They hated each other. Frances de la Tour was a socialist, staunch socialist, and he was a Tory right-winger. Leonard Rossiter. And I saved his old school, the Collegiate, in Shore Street here. He wanted to pull it down. Beautiful building. Built by the same architect, Harvey Lonsdale Elms, who designed and built St. George's Hall. Wanted to pull it down. But I saved it. Dr. Benjamin Twist. Now there's a name. And the little poor Willie. Oh, fantastic, Willie. Graham Moffat. Unbelievable. He says Clute, yes, Clute. Donald Sutherland's one of Jane Fonda's finest performances. Brilliant film. Clute. Gary says Performance is another good film starring Mick Jagger and James Fox. James Fox was not half underrated, you know. There's a film I was only done a few years, about 3 or 4 years ago, came out with Mick Jagger in. And it just doesn't look like, I don't like Mick Jagger as a person. Oh, what's it called? I think it's called The Heretic. The Heretic. I'll let you know next week what it's called. Might let you know tomorrow. If you're there to watch along with me. Unless you all go to the pub and watch it. The match, that is. Yeah, Performance, yeah. Great film. Mick Jagger. Mick. I like Mick. He said something about the Beatles. Me. I think it was a bit of jealousy, to be honest. But anyway. This country gets more like the boiler room of the Titanic every day. Confused orders from the bridge, water sloshing around our ankles. The only difference is they had to band Rixby. iconic. The best episode was when he took Miss Jones out for a birthday. And he goes into the lads, you know, the two lads, and he goes, "Oh, no, look, you know, the Richard Beckinsale. You going to, you think you're going to a morgue or something mad like that?" He said, "You look terrible." He said, "Oh." But anyway, he gets dressed up. And he puts they go into there's a lodger there. I think he went into Miss Jones left the series after that particular 6-week run or whatever it was. And they had a wrestler, and he was always narky, you know, the wrestler. So anyway, Richard Beckinsale says to him, "Come on, we're going there." Go into the wrestler's room. He said, "Oh," he said, "if he finds out," he said, "he won't find out. Be all right." So they're looking through, and he gets this velvet jacket, like a maroon thing, reddish, bit more brighter than maroon. So anyway, he puts it on, and he went, "Oh, come on, do you think I'm a member of the band?" Because it was the way it was, you had these things going. I'm a member of the band. But honestly, so funny. Best episode. Loved it. And Dr. Benjamin says, Lady Eve 1941 is a good old movie directed by Preston Sturges, starring Barbara Stanwyck and Henry Fon. Do you know the way they're talking about Brigitte Macron? Brigitte. Do you reckon Barbara Stanwyck was as well? Born a man? Well, male. But she was definitely. She married Robert Taylor. And they were like, as I mentioned ages ago now, that they have gays marry each other. Female, male, female, gays marry each other. So they wouldn't consummate. And they were the same. Robert Taylor and Barbara Stanwyck. He says, Leonard Rossiter was from Wavertree. You're right, he was, he was from Wavertree. And he went to the Collegiate in Shore Street. Great actor. Brilliant. The outfield, morning, Frankie and chat, because all those for me. Where were you last night, out on the air? We had the best show ever last night, mate. It's absolutely brilliant. Really, not just saying that. Best show, I reckon, anyway. We had a very special guest on. And I'm not telling you who it was. So you just have to look at the review. It was brilliant. And the guest was brilliant also. Great fella. Frankie, I watched Gorky Park, really enjoyed it. Anyone else? Brilliant film. Lee Marvin, and no one's mentioned Lee today. Nobody. Point Blank, one of the best films you're ever likely to see. Lee Marvin, gangsters. You just see him walking down this corridor, expressionless. You can see it in his eyes. You just see him walking that, but it was like, heavy footsteps. And he just bursts in this room, pulls his 45 out and goes, shooting the bed. Fantastic. Rather frightening. He also made a film, I think it was a remake of The Killers from the 40s. It was a remake. Him and an actor called Clu Gulager. But anyway, brilliant film. John Cassavetes was in it as well. Angie Dickinson, she was in it. Tommy DeVito was Joe Pesci's character. Oh, right, I'm sorry. He is based on real-life gangster Thomas DeSimone. As I said, Pesci was in the Gambino family. Benjamin, have you seen this one of them? I mentioned that the other week, I mentioned that the other week, The Servant. Fantastic. Dirk Bogarde, black and white, very atmospheric. Fucking hell, this thing. Very atmospheric. Very atmospheric. Oh, Jesus Christ. Do you know what? It's getting worse. I might have to stop podcasting. Really? It's getting worse. So I could hardly sleep, but it's scratching. Anyway. Yeah, great film, though. Bill Bogart was a great actor. The Servant, yeah. And he was also in another film, The Accused. Brilliant. Was it The Accused? Oh, what was it? Make sure that it's... He plays a barrister. Sylvia Sims plays his wife. Yeah, The Accused, it was called. Another atmospheric, black and white. Fantastic. Great actor. Rex Harrison from Iton in Night Train. What's this mentioned? You haven't come on under another name because I've mentioned these. So who are you? Oh, I mentioned Victim, The Servant. Oh, Victim, not The Accused. Victim. Victim. With Bogart and Sylvia Sims. Fantastic film. Yeah, Night Train to Munich, brilliant. Margaret Lockwood, love it. Loved it. The Happiest Days of Your Life is a classic comedy with Alistair Shea, yes, and Margaret Rutherford and Joyce Grenfell. I tell you another great film with her in, Margaret Rutherford, and there was a stellar cast in this, and it was called The VIPs, and it was about an airport, London, wherever it was, and fog descends, and they couldn't take off. Orson Welles, Margaret Rutherford, Richard Burton, Elizabeth Taylor. Maggie Smith. Robert Taylor, what's his name? Taylor, no, Rob Taylor. Michael Hordane, Richard Waters, the VIPs. And the French fella, I forget his name. I can see him there. Came to me. Oh, he was in a James Bond. He was in a James Bond, Roger Moore one, where he played like an antique collector in the James Bond one. James goes out, he's a baddie, obviously. Forget his name. I don't want to start thinking about names. No. Anyway, Simon, from a bridge too far, Major Carlyle wielded an umbrella was based on. Yes. Major Alison Digby taken water, who famously said carried the umbrella because he could never remember the password. A bridge too far. True story of great heroism, and the Americans pulled it back. Could have easily have taken that bridge, that Arnhem, easily. Michael, James Cagney has a performance for Fudge 2, and Cary Grant was bald. Yeah, he was bald. So was Spencer Tracy. So was Jimmy Stewart. Excuse me. Oh, you're right there. See, Goodfellas Casino, Butch Cassidy, yeah, Butch and the Sons, that Longest Day, Godfather 2, my top 5 for today. Thank you, T. Great choice. Not one of you has mentioned The Godfather. Surprise. Or even A Space Odyssey. 2001, A Space Odyssey. The special effects then, without all that CGI or anything, was fantastic. And you're talking 1968. Space Odyssey. The music was fantastic. See, Frank, did you know the studio execs wanted Steve McQueen to play Sundance Kid over Redford? Newman wanted Redford. Yeah. Steve McQueen was a twat. I'm sorry to swear. Never liked him. He's horrible. Horrible. He got a few slaps as well off some people. Some actors. But he was a horrible person, especially to their ladies. That Ali McGraw hated him. But it was her fault she left her husband for him. Was it Ali McGraw? Yeah. McQueen. Never he always tried to steal scenes of everyone. Everyone. He always tried to steal their scenes. Just a horrible person off camera. I was talking to Stephen Graham one day. It was his birthday. We were walking up together to this fucking function thing that his party was at. And I said, so you've worked with Nicolas Cage, haven't you? He said, yeah. So what was he like in real life? He said he's a fantastic person. A very generous person. Great to get on with. Lovely man. That was Nick Cage. And I forget who else he was talking to, and he said the same. Because he worked with him as well. I forget who it was. He said, what a lovely man. So you can get, good people off screen. God, blimey, this is terrible, this. It's really annoying, That's why you see me doing this. Because it's like, I think I'm pulling faces and everything. I'm not. It's so fucking annoying. Am I a moaner? Steve, I tell you, the Yanks wanted Steve McQueen to be James Bond. And it was only Ian Fleming at the time, And you're talking about Sean Connery's role. And it was Fleming himself who said, that'll never get made if you put an American in as James Bond. It'll never get made. And you think about it, no Americans ever played him. The nearest you had to an outside, it was George Lazenby, but was he Australian? G'day there, Mr. Cheesham. Was he one of them? Anyway, Simon, the Arnhem Bridge depicted in A Bridge Too Far was actually a bridge in Devonshire, as the original bridge had been modernised and was no longer suitable for filming purposes. Thank you. Thank you for that, Simon. Richard Beckinsale, yeah. Judy Lowe was Kate's mum, yeah. Kate Beckinsale, yeah. Yeah, and she was an actress in her own right. She says, Carry On Cleo was my favourite. When you see Sidney James going in, and he was going to be greeted by Kenneth Williams, as a Caesar. And he said, Hail, Mark Antony, hail, he says, hail Caesar, hail rain, snow, sleet, fog, rain, everything in this country. Hail, rain, sleet, snow. Brilliant. Tate Bogart was a great actor, one of the Blue Lamp classic, yeah, with Jack Warner, that went on to become Evening Home. What did I do that? Evening Home. I remember outtakes. Right, what's his name? He's an actor, stalwart actor. You see him in loads of films. Oh, what's his name? Oh, but anyway, you see him in this outtake, in Ticks in the Dark Green, and you see him, and he's trying to say, bringing me down the neck of Doc Green, right? Bringing me down the neck of Doc Green. Oh, that should have been. And he goes, why can't I just say I'm down the neck? Why do we have to come over Doc Green, down the neck of Dick Doc Green? It's called Dick Doc Green and all. So funny, honestly. It was not half bad, but this actor, he's got one of them funny faces. Oh, his name came to me then. Victor. Oh, Victor, his name is. Oh, Victor's someone of this. Forget it. It's terrible, isn't it, trying to. Bella. The film, The Irishman. Yeah, they were all in it. Was Scorsese directed it. Pacino, Pesci, and De Niro. Yeah, Pacino. And Benjamin says, Norman Wisdom films were great. One of my favourites was The Square Peg, where he also played the German general. Yeah, that was like a straight cartoon, wasn't it? One of those, Mr. Grimsdale, when Grimsdale was in it. So funny. The Grimsdale. Okay, Pinkin. Stay off the tracks, kid. Forget it. It's a bum's world for a bum. You'll never be Emperor of the North Pole, kid. Lee Marvin, the Emperor of the North. Yeah. But I didn't like the film, to be honest. Simon, I didn't like that film. The King. Hiya, Frank. Hope you're well, mate. My top 5 films are, thank you, The Godfather. First time someone's mentioned The Godfather, Scarface, Terminator 2, Star Wars 1 and 2. The Godfather 1 and 2, Star Wars, Goodfellas, Scarface, Terminator 2, Big Army. End of Days is on there. It's on YouTube, The Big Army. Bit of an horror as well, The Big Army. Horror. Lee Marvin was a descendant of Thomas Jefferson and George Washington. He also despised the Dirty Dozen for glorifying war. No one mentioned that, the Dirty Dozen. It's good that, he despised it. Yeah, because he was wounded. He was a Marine, wasn't he? And he was wounded. And he hated war. Everyone hates war. Except these military complexes who make lots of money, and congressmen who keeps bullying us up, making millions now. Corruption. Christopher, I think it's definitely been mentioned before, but The Shawshank, yes, is a wonderful film, but was a flop when it was released in cinema. I didn't know that. I didn't know that it was a flop. To be honest, Christopher. The King, Frank, I went to watch Bruce Springsteen and did not realise that, yes, Stephen Van Zandt. That was one of the reasons I wanted to. I bought the tickets. Back in, when was it? Was it March? I think. Because Francine said to me, Dad, the boss is on. I said, wait. I thought she went on the telly. And she said, he's on around for it. Fancy going? I said, yeah. When? I said, yeah, I got the tickets. And, I bought them. And the way I went, I couldn't go, couldn't even make it. So she brought her cousin along. I missed out on Andre Rieu. Missed out on it. Buying fucking tickets. The boss. Yes. Stephen Van Zandt. Because I said to Francine, I said, was Stephen Van Zandt on? She said, yeah, Dad. He was there. Then, I've seen him, obviously. when he was showing bits of the concert. So I missed out on the bus. Missed out on it. He reminds me there, King. He reminds me. The film The Untouchables with Al Capone, Alfonso Capone. So he's Bella Italian. Yeah, that was Sean Connery, wasn't it? Kevin Costner. Mr. Good Guy. Fucking hell. I think he played a fucking murderer in a film. And Bella, Scarface and Tony Montana. A Cuban exile. An illegal immigrant. There's a great Italian-American actor in that. Oh, yes. Memories gone. My memories fucking gone. Doomed. I'm doomed. Must be getting that dementia thing they call. Oh, get his name. Get his name. The Godfather insists on itself. Sorry everyone, that's a joke from Family Guy. But I feel compelled to say every time the film is mentioned, it's a great film. Yes. Great, in my opinion, it's the greatest film ever made, to be honest. And it's being voted the greatest film. The words mafia and mob never uttered in The Godfather due to an agreement with the Italian-American Civil Rights League. They were the mafia, the American Civil Rights League, Italian. He said, don't fucking mention it. That's what they said. And Cosa Nostra means our thing, by the way. Cosa Nostra, our thing. Doesn't it, Bella? Our thing. And don't forget, Alfonso Capone, he opens up the soup kitchens because people were starving in Chicago during the height of the Depression. He said, we've got to feed these people. And he opens up soup kitchens. Never hate your enemies. It affects your judgment. Michael Corleone. Fright, 1971 British thriller with Honor Blackman. I loved Honor Blackman. And Susan Judd. Are you sure that was they were in it? Fright. Wasn't Barry Foster? Or am I getting mixed up here? Barry Foster and Fright. Oh, what was that called? Hitchcock. I'm talking about the one with Barry Foster in. I'm sure that was called Fright. And pain in me. couldn't think instead. Barry Foster, Hitchcock, around the same time, 71. Was it called Fright? I'm sure it was called Fright. Barry Foster was a serial killer. It was very good. Simon, Babs, you're only after one thing, Sid. Why? What's the matter with the other one? You can't get away with that. He has an affair with her, real life affairs. Did you know that? Sidney James and Babs. Do you remember? Brilliant. Brilliant. And he was an underrated actor too. But that was a brilliant series. Down, 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 down. Yeah. Remember it very well. Danger Man. About a British agent. And that British agent went on to do the, what was it? Jesus. Where you see him resigning, and they drug him, and they sent him to like a place they don't know where it is, but it was filmed in Port Marion. The prisoner from Danger Man to the prisoner. King. Christopher Reeve will always be Superman. Yes. Terrible what happened to him. Really bad. And if I was about an operation, the neurosurgeon says you could end up like Superman, Christopher Reeve, paraplegic. True that. About me. What was Victor Spinetti you were trying to think of? No, it wasn't him. It wasn't Victor Spinetti, no. What was his fucking name? And you wouldn't know him, I think you would. He's in loads of films. Loads of them. I'm trying to think of a film he was in. He's like in war films and other films, always black and white. It's up to the 60s, 50s, 60s. Do you know when you think too much, it just dissipates, just goes away. I'll try and get it for if anyone's watching tomorrow. Well, thanks for that talk. Looking out for about these Victor. He was in a horror film once, and he plays. Forget the film, but he played like this. What are them fellas? That mad little face he's got. Oh, forget his name. It's terrible. I'm thinking about that now. And Simon's, fucking Simon, can you put a different name? Simon says, Mrs. Fussy, Joan may think you're a gentleman, but personally, I've got so misgivings. Sid Boggle, you ought to put some talcum powder on them. I've got so misgivings. You ought to put some talcum powder on them. You can't get away from that, can you, Sam? Andre Rusbus as well. Don't remind me. I love him. I love my classical music. I love my opera. But Andre Rus, like other composers and whatever, leaders of orchestra. Excuse me. They look down on them, and it's just like in literature, where people look down on the likes of John Keats and William Blake. They look down on him because they say it's not the right composition that he's playing. It's more, But I think he's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. One of my favourites that he does comes from Carlos Carmen Marina, and it's O Fortune. Fantastic. Where it's quiet. Can play any type of music. Tell Andre Drew. Love him. And I've missed him. At the arena down here. The Echo, it's not the, what's it fucking called now? The Liverpool Arena. Missed him. The King. Sorry, Frank, you missed out. Yeah. That's the boss, isn't it? Or is that the Andre Rus? Both of them, to be honest. Sadie Tompkins, have you got a large one, Vic Flange? I've had no complaints so far, Sadie. Seeing is believing, Vic. You don't need a magnifying glass. Vic, there you are. No, I was on me. If you know what I mean. Sadie, oh, you don't have to draw me any diagrams. Pity. I was just going to get my ballpoint out. Fucking yeah. Frank, if you like to go for the seen it, The Offer, brilliant. That Miles Teller, I was looking at our first time I'd ever seen him. I went, he should have played Elvis in. I think he looks like Elvis, that fella. But that's just, he's a good actor as well. But the offer is, it's great, King. It's great. Didn't half like it. I think I mentioned it ages ago to watch. The doc says top five Godfather, some light, brilliant. The Apartment, Hobson's Choice. Hobson's Choice, Charles Lawton. And Brenda de Banzi. The Secret of Santa Bombolini. Bombolini, Anthony Quinn. He was the mayor, Bombolini. Brilliant. During the German occupation in Italy. Brilliant. Good choices then, Doc. Very good choices. And very unusual ones, besides the Godfather. Some like it are fantastic. Marilyn. Shocking what they did to that lady. Genius, Genius. And Christopher. Ocean's 11, Ocean 13 films are watchable. Ocean's 12 goes where the sun don't shine. And I only watched Ocean's 8 because Sandra Bullock is in, says Christopher. I like Sandra Bullock, to be honest. She's good. If you want to watch a film with her in, two of them, watch The Lake House with Keanu Reeves. The Lake House, fantastic film. And the other one is called While You Were Sleeping. While You Were Sleeping. Those two films. If you like Sandra Bullock, fantastic films. See, I'm getting all this fucking itchy here. It's really annoying me, It really is. It's terrible. People don't realise what I go through. I'm lousy, and I'm not. I'm a clean person, honest. As my mates would say, honest, honest. Watch Stars 8, it's a brilliant film. Stars 8. I've heard of that, Gary. Stars 8. I'll tell you what's a great film with 8 in it. 8mm. Is it? 8mm. Fantastic. Good film. Very good film. This is 8mm. About kids, they're doing a project to making a film, for a project in school. Brilliant. J.J. Abrams directed it. Great director, J.J. I think he had a part in writing it as well. Yeah, 8mm. Simon. I'll leave you with a few jokes. Joke one. Doc, I can't stop singing the green, green grass of home. That sounds like Tom Jones syndrome. Is it common? It's not unusual. Very good. Oh, check. My wife phoned me just before the show and said, I've got water in the carburetor. I said, where's the car? She said, in the river. Tommy Cooper, I've seen that. Seen him actually doing that. I actually seen him doing that. There's water in the carburetor. Because he said to me, he said, I've just had a phone call. Just had a phone call. Where is it? Bottom of the river. Fantastic. Oh, lovely Bella. Cara mia Bella. Grazie, Franco. And chat for a great show once again. You're the godfather of chat and knowledge. Have a great weekend. Thank you. You too, Bella. Please have a great weekend. You and your family. Mille grazie. The king. He is me. He is me. My mum loves his music and I got into it. I like all the girls dancing and drinking wine. Yeah, it's great, Andre Lou. Miles played Rooster in Top Gun Maverick. I won't watch them films. King, I won't watch them. But he's a good actor. I've seen him in he was where one of the Hemsworths. It's good. I forget what it's called though. That Miles Teller. Forget what it's called. But it's good. The King, Sandra Bullock's best film. Oh, come on. Sandra Bullock's best. Why did you put a little comment in? Sandra Bullock's best film are Speed and The Net, in my opinion, yeah. But if you haven't seen those two, King, watch them while you were sleeping. And what's the other one? The Lake. Oh, fucking hell. See? Oh, not to mention the Lake View. The Lake View. Fantastic. Keanu Reeves. Clever film as well, by the way. The Lake View. I'm sure I've got that up there, you know. Be fucking dead after. Sandra Bullock, best films are Spear, 8mm, great film, Frank, Nicolas Cage. 8mm. Do you know what? No, that's not the 8mm I was thinking of, but it is a great film, The Cage, yeah. And James Gandolfini's in that as well. Oh, what's that film? Oh, something nice. J.J. Abrams. Kyle Chandler's in it. Oh, blimey. Oh, what's it called? Fucking losing it, you know. It's about school kids, and they're making a film. They're making a film like a school project. You know, it's not like they're playing gangsters or there's a little bit of a love story and about a private detective and about vampires. That's the school project. And they go out on location. And one of the main characters, this lad, Ella Fanning's in it. I think it was her first film, or one of her first films, only a kid. And it just starts off where you see this, he's just lost his mother. Anyway, as school lets out, it's really good. It's really good. And it's a good science fiction film, put it that way. Forget the fucking name of it, to be honest. I've watched both of these Sandra Bullock films. They are very good. She is great in Miss Congeniality. Yeah. The Eightfold Eight? No, it's not the Eightfold Eight. See, the film, it's 8mm, and that's what the film, the school project. But when this train comes along and it starts to crash, the camera just falls over because they were doing an outside shoot in the night. And the camera falls and it captures everything. Brilliant film. Super 8, you're the boy king. You're the man. Super 8, thank you. Brilliant. Made up now. I am made up. Super 8. That's a king, says Chris. I'll get that fella's name as well. If you watch me tomorrow or Monday on the history show. And on that wonderful note, I just want to thank my sponsors. If you get painting services, fully time served, fully insured, don't struggle, get these lads in. You're an NHS worker, special discount. If you're an elderly, special discount. Don't struggle, please don't struggle. Please. Thank you. That's Gap Painting Services, the sponsors of the Frank Carlyle Show. Thank you so much. Thank you. Great people, actually, and that's genuine. They're very good. Simon, Step 2 and so. Harold, you're so xenophobic, Albert. I'm not. I just don't like foreigners. I never liked them, you know. I didn't like that. Anyway, that's by the by. And Christopher says 848. Oh yeah, it is. Is that with Samuel L. Jackson? It's a big head, eh? Samuel. Have a good weekend, Frank, says the king. Do you think we'll get Isak and win tomorrow? Yeah, it's coming. Yeah, Isak will be coming. I was told that ages ago, even before it came about, that Liverpool were going to get said, yeah. I said, yeah, I've seen it. Like, for Newcastle, that's about it. Playing us twice, that's it. Don't follow fucking Swedish international football. Don't follow any other football teams either. He said, well, they're really going after him. He's just fit in. He said, that's ages ago. I'm talking a month or two ago, you know. Honestly. Just after the season finished. But don't tell anyone. I said, okay. Christopher, bye Frank and everyone. Have a great weekend. Up the movie, watching Rents. Yes. And to all you wonderful people out there, thank you so much for keeping Frank company and forgetting who this fucking Victor was. Oh, it came to me then. Jesus. But I'll have it. I'll definitely have it. Franco just on the wireless saying Saudi owners telling Isak he has to stay this summer. They can't tell him anything. They cannot tell him anything. He's only got to put in a transfer request and that's it then. He doesn't want to play for them anymore. And he'll go through a terrible time every game you play for Newcastle with the supporters. They'll all be telling him to F off. I think we'd do the same as well with any other player. But they've made it out to be as bad, worse. They've made it out to be worse than Newcastle, honestly. I'm not having a go at them. But they've made it worse. They should have just said, okay, wait till we get a new striker in. Because everyone was speculating, as usual. That's why I don't speculate on the football pods. Everybody's fucking doing it. And it's really enough. It's really enough. Complaining. It's really annoying. It really is. That's why I don't follow suit when I do a pod. I just chat to you. I just chat to the good people who come on it. Talk about Liverpool. Don't speculate. He'll put in a request now. And once you put in a request, that's it. I can't see those owners saying that. It's just like, say like McAllister wanted to leave. And our owners are saying that, no, you can't leave. You've got to stay. You've got to stay. If that would have been me, so you've got to fuck off, I'm going. You're telling me what to do. Then just put in a transfer request, that's the end of it. But they've made it out to be Liverpool are terrible. That's what they've made it out. Liverpool are trying to steal our players. That's the way it's played out. Great, be made up with him. We still need a couple of centre-backs, yeah. Yeah, centre-backs. People think that everywhere's covered. Everywhere. If we get a couple of centre-backs, beating. I don't think anyone will beat Liverpool. I'm not just saying that. I really don't. I can't see it because every position's covered by quality. Not like years ago. Not years, a couple of years. You had no one. Like Tyler Morton, people like that. Tyler Morton. You know, he's gone now. Do you remember Brewster? Fucking what was his name? Redburn. Whatever his fucking name was. These fellas. McGog. Do you ever remember? Peterson. Peachney. Fucking hell, we've had some bad players. Some really bad players. I bet. Have a look at all matches. Some of it, and you see the substitute. Fucking shocking. Honestly, shocking. You know, you see the team there, the substitutes come up. Station, I'm gonna say. Jason's just said, Jason's just said about the match next Friday, so I'm doing the current affairs on the Thursday instead. Because of the match on Friday, the opening game. I said it, King, I said it, I've always wanted, and I've been wanting it for, this is the third year I've been wanting it. Know what I mean? It's just said, sorry, I didn't realise you were still on. I'm going off now. This is terrible, you know, it's going inside me mouth. You know, the itching, it's terrible. I'm going to the doctors anyway on Tuesday. Over my eyes and things. Finished. I'm fucking finished. I'm finished. Yeah, the DM been asking for them for 3 years. This is the third year. People, I was listening to Slot, and he's saying, well, you know, Enzo, get onto this. And Robertson's finished, you know that. I've been saying that now for 18 months. He said he can play centre half. Is he fucking having a laugh? Is he fucking having a laugh? Centre half. Robertson. My granddaughter's fucking taller than him. And these fucking big hefty fellas, he gets fucking turned inside out. And especially with a quick centre forward. Fucking tear the back out of him. You're right, says the Simon. He will put in a transfer request now. It will now get dirty, but was it really going to be a surprise? That's why I said 2 weeks ago when fans got excited, unless he pushes it, it won't happen. Yeah. Yeah, I do, Sam. Yeah. Yeah, they did lose the rights. So, thanks for this morning. Really appreciate it for keeping me company and yourselves company. Been some great comments as well about films, about TV series. And no one has watched The Outsider yet with Jason Bateman. Short series, fantastic. You haven't watched it, watch it. I watched it one day. I was up one morning out the way they turn the telly on. And seeing it, and I like Jason Bateman on it. The Outside. Watched it back to back. There's 3 series I watched back to back because they're only short ones, like not like series 2 and season 3 and 4. I don't watch any of that. And the other one, The Outsider. Oh, this is fucking shocking. This, honestly. The Outsider, Spotless, and You're On It. There are 3 series I watched back to back, well, all in a day. Not at the same time, obviously. But anyway, on that wonderful note, hopefully I'll see some of you tomorrow. If not, I'll see you Monday. And if you don't like any of the content of next week, I'll see you next Saturday morning. Thank you. See you later, boys and girls. Bye.